city, hood, click. Let's go. Let's get to it, you guys. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Professor Melly Mel, the Hood Postman. You know the vibe. We are back in here today with another one. It's like the tales of the hood, gang tales. Once again, we're back. Professor Melly Mel, I am Professor Mel, the Hood Postman. For those who know me, I'm thought leader, content creator, influencer. And hope you guys are having just an amazing day. As for myself, it was a little rainy today. Wind is blowing, and then the heat came. Felt like I was in Texas somewhere. Shout out to those guys in Texas. Asiatic Supreme, how are you today? Devon Cumore, Johnny Sullivan. Good to see you guys on deck. The Hood Postman. Click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when this dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the first of the 50. Marlena Williams, good to see you. Postmaster General got followed by Mike Marks, the man himself, Mr. Texas. Man, they say everything is better in Texas or everything is bigger in Texas, right? Okay, good, good, good. What's up? What's up with my folks right there? Good evening, Marlena Williams, the queen of chat. Queen of chat. Yes, 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 yes. And there we go, Morris. We got Michelle in the house. How are you today, Michelle? Me, myself, I'm doing excellent. I'm wonderful. When I see all you guys pop in, I get chill bumps. I get to going. I get stuck. Woo-wee. It makes me feel really great. Really, really, really great. I appreciate it. GE, what's happening, man? How are you, man? Big Taco 1016. What it do from Phoenix, Arizona in the building? We got Phoenix in the house. I know it's boiling hot in Phoenix. Boiling hot. Yeah, it gets pretty hot over there in Phoenix, man. I've been there quite a few occasions, man. But let's get to it, man. Let's get to it with the wisdom. Once again, it's Wisdom Wednesday. And once again, I've stopped explaining myself when I realized that other people only understand from that level of perception. That's just the fact of the matter. They only understand from that level of perception. So what I want to do today is take you guys down a little bit of memory lane. I'm going to go back down to the 60s and bring you all up. And we're going to remember, I'm going to put this word in there, decadence. Decadence. What is decadence? Decadence is the moral and culture decline as characterized by excessive indulgence in pleasure or luxury. That is decadence. So, and reason why I bring that up is because that's just what we did when we first involved ourselves with this Crip phenomenon, or some people call it the Bloods, or some people call it Pyrus, or whatever they call it, right? But we know that the first people that walked out was the Brims themselves, the Brims. So, growing up in the 60s, right? 68, we moved on in Compton with my father and mother purchased home. My father was a career military. Hey, Cynthia, how are you? Career military man. We purchased a home. But in the summertime, I would go to my uncle's house. My uncle Gip, my favorite uncle, Marcellus Gibson, stayed on 42nd or 41st in Western. Well, my auntie Loretta. Auntie Loretta was a very, very good woman. She made sure that I got into the Boy Scouts. She made sure that I learned just to be a good person. You know what I mean? She taught us so much of love because she was a well refined woman. She had so much knowledge as a black woman, and she really, she took up with us, me and my cousins, me, Randy, Ricky, Flip, Janae, and then Lauren. Just to name some of my cousins, Deanne was there as well. All Gibsons, right? And of course, some of them was Phillips, right? But nonetheless, we were all family. So during that time, it was like maybe 69 when I first realized that the Brims at this time, the Brims covered the whole West Los Angeles. All that what you know is the 40s was the Brims. There was a guy that lived across the street from a cousin named was Gilbert. He was a Brim. It was Brims up the street, Brims down the street. So I recognized these guys for being Brims, and they had a certain particular look to them, and it was interesting, And this is part of that decadence that I talk about, that moral and culture decline, where you don't realize that it is it's later on it's going to be the outcomes are not going to be good because you're taking in by what you're seeing, the observable reality. You're taking in all this stuff, but you don't realize that later on down the road, the outcomes is not going to be favorable. You know what I mean? But if you listen to me tell this story long enough, you're going to see how, boy, how right I was to even, or wrong I was to indulge in myself. You see how badly I was fooled. That's just the fact of the matter. So growing up, right, seeing these Brims, right, and trying to understand them, then coming back home to Compton, where my boy, shout out to Asiatic Cream, my guy, my cousin, Sugar Bear, my homeboy, CB Crazy Bob, my homeboy, Big Drew Fly, my other homeboy, Big Mac. We were like the core, our little core group, right, in my neighborhood, which was happened to be Oaks Park. And then of course you had everybody else that was around, and I want to focus on these individuals because these was the individuals I walked with, went to school with. After school we were together, you know what I mean? We were like together, we was like there. Whatever we need or what we was into, we did it together and we stayed together. We stuck together 100%. So Sugar Bear and myself, right, on this particular day, we decide to go to at this time it was Sears and Roebuck. Sears and Roebuck was on Long Beach Boulevard. But prior to doing all that, we met this guy. His name is Robert Banks. He introduced himself, and we noticed that he was something different about him. There was just something different about his character and how he carried himself and the things he talked about because I hadn't heard this. And the reason why I'm bringing it, I hadn't heard this since the time I was at my uncle's house. Because right there on the corner of Western, there was a newspaper stand and there was a barbecue stand, a shoe shine stand, and right up the street was the Black Panthers headquarters where they sold literature, where they gave out literature, free lunch program, and all this stuff, right? So I would go down there, and once again, my auntie stayed on us. We had to go down there. We would work the newspaper stand. We get in on one side of the bus and come out the back door selling newspapers. This was I think it was the Herald Examiner at that time, and probably the Sentinel. I'm not for sure, but yeah, those were the older newspapers at that time. So anyway, we learned a lot, and we learned a lot from going down there, watching these Black Panthers move around. So when I got to Compton and I moved on Spring Street, so I was kind of familiarized with different stuff around me, especially when it came to the Black Power movement. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. I think that record done for more for Black people than probably anything. That one and the Impressions. Don't you ever let a feeble mind get in your way. We are winners. Those two songs did more for Black people than I'm talking about. Those were the mantras. Those were the marching orders back in the day. Those songs, and then you had the guy, and then of course we came out the Burn Baby Burn era when 1965 when the Watch Wise jumped off, and the guy I can never think his name. The DJ that was on I don't remember what was the radio station, but anyway, he would holler, "Burn, baby, burn." I can't never remember his name. It wasn't Early Allen, but yeah. But anyway, so moving on Spring Street, right? We met this guy named Robert Banks. Now, Robert Banks, unknown to us at the time, was part of what we come to find out was a revolutionary group. And it was associated with the SLA and other Russian. But during that time, what's interesting about that is that was the first time I would realize that the Brown Beret, there was a guy named Oso, White Boy, and just to name a few, and they would come over to Robert's house and they would have these meetings, and I would be like observing them moving, you know what I mean, moving differently, you know what I mean. I'm a kid, but still I'm witnessing something happening from me that I really didn't fully understand. Didn't fully understand. So I put Sugar Bear on it. I put Big Mac, Crazy Bob, and Drew Fly. We would all be, we started hanging out with Robert. Robert taught us how to fight, taught us how to box, taught us jujitsu, taught us judo, taught us all this different stuff. You know what I mean? And then one day he just broke out and showed us just an arsenal, just a a huge arsenal of weapons, just all kind of weapons. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like, man, what's this guy? You know, what is he? I'm a kid. I'm thinking like, is he fresh out of Vietnam or something? You know, it was just crazy, right? So, but he never would let us get none of them. He would let us look at him, hold him, and all that. So, what happened? Me and Sugar Bear, we knew that Sirius and Roebuck at the time, if you went in the sporting goods part, and they had a gun rack over in the sporting goods part. So every day, me and Sugar Bear would go up there. We'd be working that gun rack, trying to get one of the rifles up out of there, just working it, working it, working it. So finally, while I be looking out, Sugar Bear be over there working it. So finally, one day, it loosened up. Sugar Bear was able to slide one up out of there. So we get up out of Sears, we walk out, boom, we go back to the neighborhood. We let Big Mac, Bob, Chris CB, and Drew Fly know we got the rifle. And said, yeah, well, how y'all get that? Man, Sugar Bear, we got it up out of Sears. Nah, man, y'all couldn't have got that. Yeah, we got it up out of Sears. So Drew Fly said, man, I bet y'all can't get another one. Once again, overindulgence, right? Overindulgence is something that you fully don't understand, right? Because we didn't understand outcomes. We didn't understand that when you put yourself in these type of situations, there are outcomes. There's things you have to be aware of. You know what I mean? Because you going down what is called taboo. You're going down a dark alley. Don't realize what's at the end waiting on you. So me and Sugarback go back up there. We trying to get another one up out of there. So we went about 2 days. But this time they watching, and that was the first time I ever came in contact with this dude. His name was Beckman, which later on would be Reggie Wright, Police Red's partner. I think he actually trained Police Red. So Beckman, he catches us red-handed. So at this time, man, you had the Linwood Police Department. They weren't sheriffs. They just driving white cars. They was racist as heck. I'm talking about serious racists. You know, I'm talking about Ku Klux Klan racists. Probably even worse than that. So he take us down and he take us on this like a freight elevator or something. Man, I never even knew they had this stuff in Sears. So he take us up to this room, and then this other guy up in there, and this guy happened to be Preston. The first time I laid eyes on him, he come PD too. So they get us in there, man, and they talking crazy to us, man. They get us in, they rough us up, beat us up, and then they told us if we fight each other, and they'll let us go. So me and Sugar Bear had to wind up getting down. We had to wind and get down. We throwing blows because we trying to get up out of the circus. I can't go home and tell my mama, now my mama ain't finna go. Boy, you was at Sears stealing a gun? For what? You know, that's gonna be on her mind. And Miss Oliver, which is Sugar Bear's my cousin, his mother, auntie, she gonna be like, nah, nah. She gonna get on us too, right? So we get up out of that situation, we come back. So meanwhile, by this time, Tookie, Duck, all these guys are coming back from Bannon. Now the overindulgence and decadence is really taking over because we don't realize that this culture that we've been embracing, indulge in, is it's gonna set us at a deficit. It's gonna set us such a deficit that it's gonna take us years and years to get up out of. And that's what we don't understand because here's the thing, perception is not a reality. It is just it is a tiny experience of reality with something that is very limited and flawed. Very limited and flawed. That's what we have to understand. Only truth is reality. Truth is reality unless we are willing to question everything that we believe and think we know and understand. We have to question everything we think and know and understand. And you will see that anything that is it but it's anything but illusion. It's delusional. It's delusional. It's built in delusion, right? So when we start getting into this stuff, right, and we take it on because when the first Crips that came over there, all of them had bald heads. way before the Mexicans or the Serangos had them. This is like 72, 73, right? Bald heads, clean shaven, with the earring hanging out the left ear and the overalls and starched up with biscuits and Romeos and what they was wearing wallabies back then, croaker sacks and all this different stuff and bomber jackets, This was like the uniform fun, but it looked like it was fun. It did, it really did. It just at the time it just looked like it was really fun. But again, if you listen to me tell this story long enough, you'll see how bad I was wrong about the fun part. You know what I mean? It wasn't fun because later on there were so many things that came into play, and then things would start playing out in front of your eyes that you wasn't really equipped or necessarily had the ability to handle. You know, regardless, you just wasn't ready for that. So what happened is that once we got that rifle, right? So now we ready to go what we think to be put in that work. You know what that work consists of is going out there and going on submissions, and hopefully that you complete the mission in a way that you get away with it. That's just what the fact of it is. You know what I mean? Everybody thought they could do things and just get away with it. It don't care if you a Pyru, you a Crip, you a Hoover, whatever you thought you were. Everybody believed that whatever happened to the next guy wouldn't happen to you. That's what everybody believes. That's just the fact of that. So, AC Moses spoke on that. Right on, right on, right on. So that was just the facts of the matter, man. And most of our perception is shaped by. Let me roll this one up. Hold on. I don't want this wind to be. Okay. Now I got it. Sorry, when did I stop for a moment? Sorry about that, guys. So most of our perception is shaped by beliefs, and beliefs that control our perception. Beliefs that control our perception. And the beliefs that we had that the cripping was the ultimate thing to be a part of. That's what we believed at the time, wholeheartedly, based on what we were seeing and what we was understanding. Like, who wouldn't want to be on Tookie's team? Who wouldn't want to be on Donald Duck's team? Who wouldn't want to be on all these teams? But then there was bartender. Who wouldn't want to be on his team? You understand? It's not that we was even capable of picking and choosing. It's just that how things was unfolding, they was unfolding pretty quick and fast. And you had to choose up. Simple as that. You had to choose up. And a lot of times none of the choices good. Again, none of the choices good. It just was the people dealing with the early 60s. We're dealing with the early 70s. So there's no precedence for what the outcome is going to be if you decide to get yourself in there. So we had to rewrite our perception, and we had to rewrite the perception that we grew up with from elementary school and middle school, or what we call junior high. You see, because most of us took up these extracurricular at the junior high level. At the elementary school, you wasn't really focused on that. You was still shooting marbles, playing playing on the monkey bars, playing stickball, kickball, and all that stuff. So you wasn't really interested in all that stuff. But it was town and communities that you never do. You had to learn it. And that's where a lot of this stuff started when people started choosing sides and picking where they was gonna be and who they was gonna be with. But nonetheless, coming back to Crazy Bob and Sugar Bear. So Crazy Bob, this was Crazy Bob. Crazy Bob, Rockhead, right? Rockhead. Mother Pearl had a boyfriend. His name was Roger. Roger was fresh out the Navy. He was fresh out the Navy. He was a Navy SEAL or something. He was something like a special forces, man. Dude on super swole, cut up, kept his Navy uniform and all that. He had a car. We used to call it the Green Hornet or something. It was green. It was a green Plymouth or Dodge or something. Because remember that time growing up, the kids we used to run and go by the Green Hornet. So this is when we start exploring our side of the game of how we would what we would contribute to that neighborhood or to that culture. Again, it's decadence. The decadence is that it's a moral culture, it's a decline. And we didn't understand the decline that was characterized by excessive overindulgence. We didn't understand that because our minds were too young and we wasn't fully developed in the way we should have been. Because my father was a disciplinarian, my father was a career military man himself, taught me a lot. But this thing I was doing was under cloak and dagger. It was skullduggery at its finest. You know what I mean? I had to hide everything, hide the blue rag, hide the gun, hide everything, take them khakis off, all that. Wasn't going up in the house looking like I done lost my darn mind. Not get past my dad, because he was gonna check that. He was gonna check that. Simple as that. You know what I mean? So I had to do what I do. I had to slip and slide, move and groove, so to speak. So, but anyway, so we would go out. We went out one time, right? And we would have David Wayne. David Wayne, he'd go in there, he go get the 22 and the 32. We get out, we jump in the car. We remember when I told you we had that rifle, man, sugar bag guy. And we would go out looking for stuff to get into. We would go all in Carson. We would go all in Dodge City, the highs out there, in San Pedro. And at this time, those areas, they wasn't really like knowing what we were or who we were. But they would be intimidated because we would come up in their parties. Oh yeah, Montague. There you go. Right, Montague. Daniel Montague. Montague. Yeah, you got it right. That's right. Sorry, I think you the one who told me last time, right? So we would go up in there, man, and they would be fully intimidated, and we liked how that felt. We liked how everybody would just like spread and let us in. You know what I mean? Because like once again, we on Tookie's team. We on Tookie's team. We on Matt Thomas' team. We on David Clark, Big Mad Dog off the east side. Can you imagine? You tell me, I'll go get Mad Dog. That's how we did back. You want some problems with? Okay, I'm gonna go get Big Mad Dog. I'm gonna go get Big Tookie. That's how. That's how we carried it back today. That was just, that's just how it flew, you know what I mean? And I know that scared to be Jesus out of some people because they all knew who this big black guy Tookie was, you know what I mean? Whether you was on this side of town or that side of town, but to have a direct connection to him, like we was picking up the phone, hey Tookie, we over here, come, we got we. Nah, it was acting like that. Tookie wasn't showing up for none of that. You know what I mean? But that's just the mystique of it that we would say stuff like that just to get that edge over people that was already terrified because of the way we look, the way we dress, and how we were behaving all the time. We was showing how destructive we were, how ignorant we was, and how we was changing a culture that was never meant to be a Crip, Blood, Paru, Damu, and none of that. We were never meant to be that because I don't never remember waking up, going to sleep, going to bed, waking up in the night, dreaming, talking about one day when I wake up, I'm gonna be a Crip or I'm gonna be a Pyru, I'm gonna be a Blood. So to even think at that's such a lower form of thinking. It behooves me now that when you see dudes 60, my age right now, still saying cuz or still saying blood, you know what I mean? That's just, I mean, everybody get to do what they want to do, but you got to think about what are the outcomes? What are the outcomes? So again, me, Sugar Bear, Big Mac, Drew Fly, Crazy Bob, we would go to these parties and doing, and then there was just one time, man, we went up in LA, coming back to the Brims, right? So the Brims already engaged in all this, right? They really about that life, you know. They already done been in some some fights or some 22 or shotgun fights or whatever. You know what I mean? Because that's it. As big as we had is 22 shotgun, 38, 32, something like that. There was no 9 millimeters. There was no Uzis. There was no machine guns. There was no machine pistols. There was no Glock 40s with the switch on them or none of that, or Dracos. None of that happening, right? So we go in there, man, and these dudes, they look just as ruthless as we do. So we like, now we spooked because it's a lot of them, right? And they trying to ask us where we from. But one thing about it, man, when you grow up, right, when you grow up with people, one thing about them, there's the distinctive characteristics of things they remember about you, even if you've been away from them a minute, right? And the dude from Brims remembered me from being over there on 42nd, going up with my cousins, right? And he said, man, what you doing? Because he was an older guy. He hung out with my cousin Ricky, right? What you doing? And I broke it down to him, you know what I mean? But anyway, we wound up getting a pass. Because of our own ignorance. We thought that just because, hey Sherry, how are you? Just because we were associated with Tookie, we associated with Killer Wayne, we associated with Duck, we associated with TJ Swan, we associated with Johnny Jones, Big Roy, Gary Miller, Boo Hodges, Roy Scott, Robert Thomas, Mac Thomas, and Salty and Frosty and all these guys, right? You associate that because you feel like you can go in your city and get any of these guys and come back and they're gonna get dealt with in the way you think they should be dealt with. But it don't always play like that. But that was just a time where we had a rude awakening that we wasn't the baddest dudes on the block and we wasn't running nothing. So now we got caution on us. You know what I mean? We got caution on us because now we still got Robert Banks, right? So I would talk to Robert about certain situations and circumstances, and Robert would tell me, "Right on, Big Dad, what's up?" Robert Banks, he was a revolutionary. He didn't believe in all this stuff. The way he was trying to actually get us to understand what we were doing was destructive and wasn't good for the culture. You know what I mean? And that's why I had to go with the decadence, as a moral or culture decline is characterized by excessive indulgence in a pleasure or luxury. And I felt like that at that particular time when Crip first came about, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Somebody else may interpret it or characterize it in another way or put it in a different framework, but that's how my mind is reacting to it. And once again, I talk about perception. Perception is only a reality that it is just a tiny experience. It's a tiny experience of truth. It's not necessarily the full truth. Okay, so we got to be careful of that. But going back to that time, right? We escaped that situation, but yet it taught us. It was a lesson. It was a lesson learned because had not been the one that they remembered from being over there, the little kid that was running all up and down the block, having water fights, throwing balloon water fights and all that stuff, all during the summer, being part of the Boy Scouts, selling newspaper over their stand. So I knew all the older cats over there. I remember I would think it was the Hair Bears. I think they was from out of Fruit Town or something, Fruit Town Brim. There was the Fruit Town Brims, the Brims. It was all kind of Brims over there that we down know where the 40s and all down to the 50s, all that was Brim. The whole west side of Los Angeles was Brims before they was anything else. Let's just put that out there. Tookie the bookie, man of the hood, nobody wanted to see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was a monster, man. He had that look, man. He had that intimidation clause in his repertoire. And we often had to use that card. So yeah, I mean, going back to Reggie White. I mean, he was years later, and this is how Reggie White started getting trained by this dude Beckman, the police I was telling you about, and that Beckman guy remembered that from when he jammed me and Sugar Bear up from stealing the guns. He didn't catch us, with the first one, but he caught us trying to get the second one. And you know what I mean? And during that time, man, I don't know, maybe he could have really put us in jail for that, but he didn't. He just told us to get out. I don't know what his fascination was in that, but we had to put on a show, boy. We had to put on a show to get out that circumstance, man. I mean, Tookie said the guy named Wolf tried to get him to become a Brim. That's probably true, man, because there was a lot of, let me see, it was Winston, Winston River, Turkado, Pete Kelly, Paul Kelly, I remember Freight Train, Tomahawk, Swig, let's see, there's some other ones too. There was a lot of them, bro. A lot of them brims, man. And you knew them when they had the big old brim hats. You knew them well. You didn't mistake them for nobody but who they were. But there was another time when we went down to the remember the Christmas parade used to be in Hollywood? Man, full of brims. Full of me and Blue Boy down there. In the 6'5", Blue Boy had a 6'5" front back. Going down there, man, Brims chased us then. You know what I mean? So the Brims was out there. You know what I mean? They was moving around back then. And I think and this from my recollection, is that when the Crips from the East Side started, I think it was like the antidote to what the Brims were. That's just my opinion on that. Not necessarily don't make it true. That's just my opinion on that. And I think that they they was fully aware of those guys over there, and they was gonna challenge them. But who was gonna be the king of the hill? Remember when we went to elementary school, we would go and we gonna say who gonna be the king of the school, and you put an ice cream stick on one shoulder, or you drew a line down in the sand, and I double dare you to cross that. You do its own, and you knock this stick off. We just didn't start fighting. We had to put the stick on the shoulder, or draw a line in the sand to see who was see who was gonna fight. Lloyd Robinson, how you doing, man? Did you touch on Reggie Senior? Mention you? Oh yeah, Reggie. Reggie, what Reggie said was accurate, bro. I don't have nothing to say about what he said. I think what he said about me. Now I can't speak for nobody. I can say what he said about me. I would see what Reggie probably don't remember is that I was right there when Turtle gave him the gold eagle. So I was right there when that happened. So he probably didn't remember that part, but yeah, because I remember he pulled up. Him and after him and Beckman were buddies no more. I think him and Eric Perrin became uh teammates or whatever. But that we ran into that Beckman, man. We ran into that Beckman quite often, man. Me, Turtle, shit, man. I think Jack All Sleep, might have been Bebop. It was about 5 or 6 of us. We go up to the farm. There's a concert up there. Maybe Ronnie Childs too, Twin, of course. But we always went to concerts. We looking to knock cars or just get in the concert. We ain't trying to pay to get in the concert. So when we going through the parking lot, we see Renee McGowan pull up. Renee McGowan was in that. I think that burgundy brown. I think he had a burgundy and brown brown at that time. Had the perm and all that. And he sees us, and he look at us and he gives us the head nod. We like, what's up? He was checking us all out, man. But the girl that was with him was looking at us. And man, I don't know why he did it, man, but the girl was looking at us, and I guess he didn't like that, and he slapped her right there in front of us. Slapped the dog out that young lady for whatever reason, man. It was just weird about how he did that. But anyway, so we going up the concert. When we get up the concert, Beckman standing right there. Oh no. Oh no, y'all take your ass back to Compton. Y'all ain't coming up here to start no trouble up here. He was up there working the concert. So yeah, we had same guy, he worked it. Just crazy how some of this stuff played out back then, you know what I mean? And Turtle, myself, Jack All Sleep, we wind up because we knew how Beckman got down, you know what I mean? Beckman didn't always play fair. He just did, you know what I mean? So we in an unfamiliar territory, which was Inglewood, we had to, we had to do it like crawdads do, back up. But anyway, My guy Sugar Bear, rest in peace. Big Mac, my cousin Sugar Bear, he rest in peace. Now it was good cousin. Big Mac, he lives in Washington now. Drew Fly, I ain't seen Drew Fly in years. Drew Fly actually grew up on 43rd and Central. 43rd and Central down. He went to school to Jeff, and he went to I think he started going to Huntington Park. But what's interesting by he was Sugar Bear cousin on his dad's side. No, yeah, on the dad's side, yeah. And I'm on the mom's side, so yeah, so that we were like cousins too. But anyway, yeah, I haven't seen Drew Fly in all these years, man. It's crazy, man. Drew Fly was like he was bigger than all of us. He had to be about 6'5" at that time, youngster, big old tall dude. He had that intimidating look too. Probably why we kept him around. But anyway, so we time started moving around, right? And we started getting in more and more and more trouble, more and more trouble. So finally, Sugar Bear and Big Mac decide to go to the army. Sugar Bear, Big Mac, Killer Raider, Donald Guy, and T-Bone, Dwayne. All those guys from the neighborhood, they go to the armed forces. So what a lot of people don't understand about the armed forces that's how this stuff started quickly evolving and morphed into something more dangerous because now you got guys that just was on simple gang banging time and banging on each other, throwing up blue rags and C's and P's, you know what I mean, fighting and stuff like that. Now you sending them off to the military. When they come back from the military, guess what? They bringing that experience back to the neighborhoods. You got Ninja Benz later on. Ninja Ben, who was part of the Israeli army, he was in the Israeli army over in Israel. Ain't no telling was he Mossad or not. I don't know, but I knew he knew about explosives and all that different stuff. He was running up on cats talking about choose your weapon, you know. So that was different. So, but I'm saying all that to say this is that we were led down a lot of rabbit holes and didn't know that the bait was setting the trap long before we even realized that the traps was even baited. You understand? And we took it hook, line, and sinker. And we started tearing up our own culture, our own communities, our own people. CK being black colored man killer and BK being black man killer. But to today, when you circle around to this day and time, you still seeing people saying cuz and blood and all that, and they quite comfortable with that. You know what I mean? And they don't realize that they still continue in the destruction of a great people. They just don't understand that. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'll come back to I'll stop explaining myself to people. I did. You know what I mean? Because I realized that people only understand to their level of perception. It just, you know, what can I do about that? Do I continue to try to educate them? I just want y'all. What do y'all think about that? So once they were in the army, that's where Killer Raider broke a white boy's jaw, and he wound up in the what they call the stockade or whatever. And Sugar Bear was a MP in the army. He had to wind up watching the homie, which is interesting in itself, right? You know what I mean? But Killer Raider was such a force, man. When they all got back from the army, all these guys that went to the armed forces, when they all got back, they brought back some serious knowledge with them, some knowledge that probably got passed around for a few generations, for a few generations. And I'm not. And here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. Other neighborhoods had that same situation happen to them, but it only escalated. It didn't de-escalate. It escalated things because now you got dudes applying military knowledge to the circumstance. Big Devil, what up, Big Dev? E Money, what's happening? They applying that military knowledge to these things. And Big Raider, I remember when the homeboy dog got shot. He got shot. He was in, I think he was in Dominguez Valley. Shit, Big Raider went up there, kidnapped him, took him out the hospital. Them niggas go field dress him, you know what I mean? We got Al Green over there plucking bullets and pellets out of people, you know what I mean? We got homies that can pluck bullets out of people, you know? It just, you can't make this stuff up, man. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: the government taught these dudes how to do certain things, and they acquired some unique and a unique set of skills, and they brought those skills back to the streets. So when you start getting towards the 80s come in. Now crack cocaine hit. Now you got the money, you got the dough, and now you can buy the military grade weapons. Now the ignorance is really at an all-time low. You know what I mean? It's really like bad. You know what I mean? That moral compass of the culture is really teetering. It's really teetering, man. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Let's see, OG, Melly Mill, and Kev Mac. Right on, bro. I appreciate you. You know, I mean, because what's y'all questions? Do anybody got any questions to anything I just said? Let's get into it. Drop a comment down below. Let's dialogue. Let's talk about this because I know there's some people that's gonna disagree with me, but that's fine. I don't emotionally react. I will intellectually respond. That's just what I do. My comments, Big Rick went to the military. When he came back, he exposed us to so many military tactics, especially hard to hard hand combat. We were, yeah, yeah, a strategic force secretly. Yes. And Frog, you know what I mean? I think I appreciate Frog, but I don't think he has a real grasp on certain things. So yeah, but anyway, I'm not gonna get into it here. Can't talk about it. That's it. That's it. Speaking glad to still have to share with us. Yeah, man, I'm glad that we should. Did Dodge City have gangs before Crips? You know what? They probably did, but I don't think they were Asiatic. To be honest with you, I think they was like really, really shook because they had never seen nobody like us before. You know? Man, if y'all enjoying this, man, go ahead and drop a dollar, $2, $3, whatever, man. Just drop something in the cash, you know. Because I like talking about and expounding on these back in the days, and I try to expound on it in a way that make it MIP. I make it plain, bro. There's sometimes I throw some words up in there to liven it up. You know what I mean? Like when I put the decadence in there to explain what the decadence was. That's what we suffer from. Decadence. You know, decadence is the moral or culture decline as it characterized by the sense of indulgence, overindulgence, or luxury. So it was an overindulgence and it became a luxury. But then, thank you, Lord. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate Lloyd Robinson. That's J Dog's name. My homie J Dog name is Lloyd Robinson. Rest in peace. Big J Dog. Love the stories from you, Nola. You and Kevin Mac helped me see the connection between Louisiana. Yeah, there's a big connection to Louisiana and Texas. And a lot of those, like my family. My family is from Shreveport, Marshall, Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana. Let's see, and Dallas. Those areas. Yeah, we had a strict code of silence. That 15 crew that I mentioned in one of our interviews. Yeah, right, right. Indulgence, do too much. Yeah, U.S. Marine Corps used to be in the El Toro, L.A. before moving to San. Yeah, right, right, right. Yeah. So, but now my question to all of you: how do like the beliefs? How do how we challenge ourselves to right the ship? Now that we still got dudes my age still sitting around drinking old English, talking that same old talk, walking that same walk, dressing the part, looking the part, but they don't move the same. They don't move the same because now they became old. Their bones are weary. Their stances are shaky, you know. But they don't understand that people are still seeing them as they were back then, but they can't come with that intensity anymore. The crack epidemic and the influx of money calls dissonance and jealousy in your name. Yeah, I think that happened in every neighborhood, bro. I think that happened in every neighborhood, West Side, Newark, in here, Brick City, in the building. I think that happened. Terrell, I believe that happened in every tribe, every community. Because again, the influx of cocaine and money, everybody was buying military grade weapons. Turning from the armed forces, show everybody how to do that. You got Killer Raider going to steal a homie out the hospital. Yeah, he got a gunshot wound. We said, man, we better go get our homeboy, bring him up out of there. We gonna take care of you. Who does that, right? Devon Cutmore, how's things going in Canada? Antonio Ward, did you know any of the militant rivals? Of course, I knew all the Pyrus. I went to school with them, bro. Every last one of them, I went to school with them. All the ones that were about that life, all the ones that see. Because let me say this, man. To be a Pyro in the '70s, you was really about that life. You was about that life. You wasn't being no Pyro, and you wasn't about that life. Because they knew that the deck was stacked against them tremendously. It was 5-1, maybe even 10-1 at that time. Yeah, Reagan did it. Yep, the spook was set by the door. Yep, Ronald Wilson Reagan. But look how fast when the Black Panthers showed up down there at the State House in the Capitol down in Sacramento with the long guns. Look how quick he changed that. There was a lot of pyros in the military, bro. Lil Raymond was one of them. Malcolm, Bartender's brother, was another one. Those just the name. And Lee Ford, daddy was a recruiter. He was a sergeant over there. So he probably encouraged a lot of them to go, I think part-time. Spencer went to the armed forces. A lot of Edson. I don't know where Edson went. I have to ask Cynthia that. I ain't seen Edson in so long. Cynthia, whatever happened to Edson? You still there? Thank you, David Jackson. I try to give y'all knowledge, man. I try to feed y'all, man. I could talk about this gang stuff, but why would I want to talk about it and not put something in there that what you could feed off of, what you can utilize and apply it to your life to make your life better? You know what I mean? Look at Big Devil. Big Devil, man, is doing a super job. He's a man. He's doing an amazing job where he's at now, and his life is great. I know he wouldn't trade it for the world. I know he would. You know. But see, a lot of what happened to us, man, is cognitive dissidence. The cognitive, let me break this up. Yeah, a lot of what happened to us is cognitive dissidence. It is the reasoning why people get upset when you challenge their beliefs, or you just you challenge their beliefs. You know, I'm not like that at all, you know what I mean? Because I learned how to deal with that part. It's a mental conflict that occurs when beliefs are contradicted by new information, Thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that. You know, and the conflict occurs in the areas of the brain involving personal identity and emotional response. Because, like I told you, it ain't the fact they don't know how to think. It ain't the fact they don't know how to think. It is. I mean, it's the fact that they don't know how to think, and it ain't the fact they don't understand. What what the problem is that they don't know what thinking is because they equate thinking with emotions, which respond to and they respond to with threats. The brain alarm go off of something, man, and people get it. When a person feels that they're threatened on a deeply personal, emotional level, that's just what happens. Then they shut down and they disregard any rational understanding that you might have gave them, man. They just do all that goes away. And they coming for you at that point. you know, that's just how some of our people work, and that just because they never been taught otherwise. Canada pretty crazy these days. Government is out of control. Yeah, government is out of control all over the globe, bro. We fighting the good fight, fentanyl, and meth, and heroin and cocaine, killing everyone. Yeah, that stuff is happening over here, Devon. People are taking them fake pills and they're laced with fentanyl. They putting fentanyl in marijuana. They putting fentanyl in mostly everything, bro. They put it in all everything, man. I'm just glad that I'm thankful that I lost a nephew, man. I had a nephew, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Had his master's, was working for Intel up there and up there around the Silicon Valley area. Actually, he was in San Jose, or Santa Cruz, one of them. But anyway, uh, partying with a chick, took the pill, man, and never woke up, man. We never even knew that he was even indulging in anything like that. But that's sometimes when you get out your comfort, your circumference, your circle of awareness, you begin to take on other people's personas and perspectives, and you wind up in control. Yeah, in an uncontrolled environment, and things happen, man. Control your emotions and your yeah, and you can go pretty far. It's like, man, that's interesting you said that because there's a guy, right? His name is Napoleon Hill. You guys can go look that. Your magic is called Your Magic Power to Be Rich. He said one of your most powerful emotions is your emotions eh, to have in a man is your desire to have sex. He said, but if you somehow harness that and transmute it to a monetary equivalent, you be that much further ahead. In other words, what he was saying is that if you took that and just put that same energy into building your life will be pretty good, and you wouldn't have to look for no woman. They'll look for you because you're out there now. You're sustained. You're a man. You built a really really good life for yourself. But often our young men they do it the other way. They put the cart in front of the horse, start having babies. And I'm not saying that the men are to blame. The sisters are these owe some responsibility in that as well. But that's just what this culture, this gang culture, did to us, man. It uprooted us. It uprooted us and took us away from the freedom fight, the fight that we were fighting for freedom. I'm taking my life back off this. You got to take your life back out of this system and take that freedom and put it around your neck and hold it close to your chest because it's yours. Too much has been lost and too much has been sacrificed in this country for us to still be in this damn time with our heads stuck in the sand. We should be sitting down all these youngsters because here's the thing, man. I don't care, man. Peace to you. What's up, Yusuf? What's up, son? You can take all the OGs, triple OGs, double OGs, triple G, single Gs, BGs, all them people. You can put them all in the parks. You can put them all in the room. But if you don't get that 1%, the 1% of them dudes that is each and every one of these neighborhoods There's 1% in looters, 1% in talent, 1% in soft, 1% in nutty, 1%. That 1%, them the dudes that's kicking up all the ruckuses. Them the dudes that's pulling them goddammits on everybody, and letting it fly, going live, filming each other shooting. You know what I mean? Those the guys you got to get sit down. Those the guys that you got to get a clear and cut understanding with. Until that is achieved, then nothing is settled. That's just the facts. And I don't care how many OGs you put in the room, triple OGs and all that. I don't care how many. I don't care if you got them all. I don't care if you went to the cemetery and dug up Tookie and Raymond and Puddin and bartending and dug up all them guys and brought them back and told them to tell these justice thought they wouldn't even listen, man. Because one thing about the grave, man, the grave speaks volumes. You just got to be willing to listen. The grave speaks volumes. But one thing about the graveyard, ain't nobody in the graveyard fussing and fighting or fighting for position, streets. They don't care whether you got blue rag, red rag. They all in the same cemetery. Dudes spend all their life banging this and that, but wind up in the same graveyard, right? But that stuff, they didn't, they can't accept that. Can't accept it. They ignore it. They ignore that. Any questions? Any questions? Shout out to you, Rodney Scott, man. I appreciate it, man. Like I say, man, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, whatever you got, man. You guys want to drop something, drop it. I appreciate it, man, because you know, you guys don't know, man. Sometimes I think about, I got a lot of stories I could talk about, but I always got to put them in the framework to it doesn't get nobody cross-examined. I'm very careful about that. I'll only go so far with it. Wow. Yeah, I'm coming to San Diego, bro. Coming to San Diego real soon, skunk dog. Yeah, I'm gonna link up a ball game, man. Once that ball game gonna take me to everybody, man. We gonna we gonna get it in San Diego, man. I'm coming there personally. I'm bringing the camera, jumping in my car, packing my suitcase, and ride down, man. Because San Diego has a very very big part of this culture as well as Vegas. Because I got to go to Vegas too out there with Demon, So I got some time out, man. Well, Ronald Parsons, if you think they doing anything else besides getting along, bro, I don't know what to tell you. that you, I'm not. Once again, sometimes people at their own perception level of understanding, I guess that's where you at with it, bro. He said, "How do you know?" You funny. You think anything else is going on, bro? I welcome you to explain it. The 1% can be engaged, but see, the 1% can be engaged, but you got to have something to offer them. You got to offer them something better than what they got. Right now, they got a pistol. They probably got a few drugs. They got a girl, and they thinking about the next lick. You know what I mean? So you got to take the lick and the yah-yah out their hand. You take the lick, the idea of planning a lick, and you take that yah-yah out of their hand. Then we can get somewhere. Because here's the thing, kids, and like I know, if you gave one of these kids a $25 hour job or put them in a position to make some decent money, they're gonna stop all that. They're gonna stop all that. Because let's be honest, that's really what stopped us. Is the fact that we realized that it was better to sit down and make a legal living, whether you had a business, you was an entrepreneur, or you went into trucking industry, the phone industry, or you went into the coding industry, or whatever industry you decided to enter in that was provided you that afforded you to live in the way you like to live. Because money has two purposes. It affords you to buy the things you love to do, and also and pay the people to do the things you don't want to do. Those two things are what money does. It does nothing else. But yeah, I believe it. I just believe that 1%, man. We got to get to that 1%. Because one thing about the OGs, they'll take photos, they'll talk about the old days, they'll pass a couple of blunts and all that, and talk that stuff. Man, they go home and sleep it off. Put some Bengay on or something. you know, it best to be a square and get a gig, and better yet, a career. Yeah, definitely Asiatic Supreme. Yeah. See, because if you do that, you don't wind up at a deficit. So what you should have learned at 18, 19, 20, all the way to 30, you wind up learning at 40 or 50 because you went away for 10, 15, 20 years. That's a deficit. That's a deficit. You got to smash the like buttons. I don't require much, you know. I just wonder what was Ronald Parsons. What was he thinking when he asked that question? He funny, bro. Yeah, follow the Hood Post, man, on all social media: TikTok, Instagram, uh, Twitter. I'm on everything, bro, and Facebook as well. I'm gonna start a fans page too. King Mike Marks. Everything is to impress the woman, and as long as she is an appetite to the false sense of her masculinity, they will continue. That's thinking from the lower desires, though. Why do we got to do that? Guess what, man? Dog, man, guess what, man? We come to this life to the existence knowing nothing, right? Not nothing. Why do we always have to gravitate towards the negative when there's so much positive to the side of it? You understand? Why do we have to go that way? Because it's learned behavior. It's all learned behavior, right? Because you had to learn how to walk, you had to learn how to talk, you had to learn to skate, ride a bike. All those things were good and fun and dandy, right? You had to learn to go to school. You learned all that stuff. But then you got to the point where you start learning mischievous stuff, being a rascal or doing stuff that you know you shouldn't be doing. Birdman's brother, Vlad, is interviewing him now. What, I don't know what you're talking about. You talking about my homie Gangster? Yeah, Ben Gay, Kizzy. Know this though, bro. Regardless of what anybody do or don't do, we're all responsible for our own dispositions. So I think a lot of stuff that we did or didn't do is guarded, has to be guarded. Some stuff, like I say, some stuff we can talk about. There's a whole lot of stuff we can't talk about. And Kizzy know what I'm talking about when I say that because he's my homie. And, we go way back, you know. Where's he interviewing him at, Lloyd? It's a Protestant technique, huh? Yeah. So any more questions? I decided to do this live today because I didn't really like. I know I had some people I could have called and brought on, but sometimes I need to come in and explain things and break things down in my way. Maybe you can get the cripple for you, Professor. The one ball game was telling the fight story about. Yeah, that's a little bro, mama. Listen, Skunk Dog, send me a message in my Instagram. Send me a message. Matter of fact, let me give you a number. Hold on. I got two phones now. That's if I can remember the number. I gotta, I gotta remember the number. Mobile experience, powered by it. Yeah, you put it. But anyway, send me a message to Instagram to the hood postman, and I'll be sure to tap in with you, Brian Johnson. What's DZ? Yeah, there's a lot of interviews always coming up, bro. Always an interview coming up. I powered the phone down. So, any more questions? Right on, Stan. The man, what's happening, man? How you doing, Stan? How was your day? Rockhead, man. Rockhead was an animal, man. Savage. Best way I can put it. Yeah, Skunk Dog. So just leave me a message in the IG and we will get to it, bro. My toughest fight on the street. My toughest fight on the street, to be honest with you, was with a police. But I don't have some. I had a tough fight at Whaley. I had a tough fight at Dominguez. But I don't like to bring that stuff because I got to name an individual, man, and you know what I mean, and they doing okay. You know what I mean. I don't need to be dragging their name, but yeah, there's some fights. It's always some fights. Do you know any of the history of the Ducky Hood? I just talked to and T-Zone and Lantana. Yeah, I talk to Marcellus all the time. I just talked to Rick Rock today from Ducky. Joe Stein was one of my uh, running buddies at Dominguez. You know, dang, this lady got put. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, what kind of luck is that, Stan? Right? What kind of luck is that, bro? Partly cloudy. Patchy fog overnight. Look at my phone running down. What kind of luck is that? I gotta put my phone on the charge. That's why it wouldn't work. Okay. Man, let me put this phone on charge. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, that's a, yeah, that's unfortunate, bro. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. God bless her. It's one in a million. You think so, Skunk Dog? I don't know that. Did Turtle ever lift weights too? No, Turtle wasn't a weightlifter. Turtle was a thinker, strategist, concrete general, economist. He was a lot of things, but bumping iron wasn't his thing. Dog died too in Pico Rivera? Wow. Wow. That's a sad way to go. Let me see. Did any blacks gang bomb other races out of their turf like they were doing people in the projects? I don't know what that means. Oh, Birdman. You talking about Birdman from Cash Money? Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be nice if I get him. Yeah, that would be real nice. I mean, you never know. I reach out. I reach out, bro. Mac Thomas was a compact dude, man. Mac Thomas was short in stature, but he just has so much charisma about him that everybody just loved that dude, man. You know. But know this, man. Mac Thomas has really got on some hustling stuff when he lost his life. He had evolved, you know. See, gang banging. This is what people don't understand. Gang banging in itself is about 1 to 3 years. I'm talking about gang banging, not gang member. Gang banging. Cynthia, know what? Not Spencer. Okay, not Spencer. What about Edson? Edson. Cynthia, what about Edson? He's still around? Okay. I ain't seen him in so long. Right on, Cali boy. He reminds you of Eddie Murphy. Hey man, did y'all see when that dude, what's that dude name? Russell Brand? He did that skit on the Santanas and he had my homeboy Scunchy talking about, you better watch out. Yes, indeed. I thought it was kind of funny, even though it was corny. There's a lot of Tookie stories, but if I tell it now, then I won't be able to tell it. You know what I mean? I always got to keep some content, spread it out. I can't tell it all in one day. Chris Tucker, got to spread it all out, bro. Cynthia Nunn from Mirror, Hollywood Hogan, Tampa, Florida, in the house. What up, Hollywood? I got to get Florida too. They got them Mowdowns in Florida. Mowdown. Everybody know what a Mowdown is? Niggas mow down than you. Excuse my French, but I just had to say it. I had to say it. That's why we need that Melly book ASAP. Yeah. I'm gonna start working on. I got some pages. It's for hard to find time to work on it, man. I got so much going on, bro. Now I got Rennie Lope that's a part of the equation. See, Hollywood Hogan know what I said when I knew about the mow down. That's what they say in Florida. Man, that dude over there, mow down. You know the word. Monique, what's happening? Be sure to press that thumbs up, you guys. It helps me out. So let's see. I got this rapper, man. He's phenomenal. Coming on, there's skits with Rennie Lope. That's coming. Al Prophet over there doing skits with him. Yeah, so it's a lot, bro. Norman Steele from Gangster Chronicles. Shout out to Norman. That's thunder and lightning now. I already hit that like button. Right on. That's right, Monique. Hit that like button. You guys got any more questions? Did you ever meet Big Jack, Tookie's weightlifter? Yeah, Big Jack, man. See what a lot of people don't know, man. Big Jack. Let me tell you what Big Jack. How Big Jack got buffing himself. You know what Big Jack? Big Jack got that buffing from Big David Clark, Mad Dog. How it happened was Big David Clark had went to the pen, like, cause you gotta understand, David Clark would be 73 right now, the original Mad Dog, East Side Mad Dog. That a lot of people don't give him his rightful credit or play him to his rightful position in the Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna say he belongs at Mount Rushmore. So, but we'll get back to that because I'm still doing some research. I'm still doing the hieroglyphics, finding graffiti, and all that stuff. But anyway, so he get out the pen like maybe could have been about 69, 68. He coming down the alley over there on the east side, which you guys on the side of town where you guys call front streets. And he saw him. He said, "Man, this is what Big Jack told me personally." He said, "Man, he had never seen nobody so big and cut up." So he stopped. He had already knew Mad Dog, right? He said, "Man, how'd you get like that?" So he said, Mad Dog said, "Wait a minute, man, I'll be back." Mad Dog go down to his house, get a weight bench, get a bar, get some quarters, some nickels, some dimes, and bring a whole bunch of weights back down to Big Jack's house. And that's how the buffing started. And that right there took off, and that's when Tookie and Raymond and Mac Thomas and Mad Bull and all these Marcellus and all these guys, Big Head Honcho, all these guys would go over there, and Billy Jack, all these guys went over just to go over Jack's house and buff iron, man. That just became the thing. Salute to the Pathfiend team. Was it being in the only Crip hood on the road? You know what? I wish it, nice collab with Al Prophet. Yeah, I wish Kizzy would come on and explain that. Yeah, but hey, bro, trust me, it wasn't easy. It was not easy. So we had to be military thinking. We had to be precise. We had to be accurate. And let me tell you something about violence. Violence is afforded to the one who uses the best and the quickest. That's the facts. I don't care how many people, how less people, none of that matters. Violence is afforded to the ones that use it the best and the quickest. Facts. Yeah, Mike Christian, Raymond Washington. I remember when Mike Conception and Renee McGowan used to be sitting at the Carolina West. And they had henchmen used to be sending them out to the girls on the beat, Cynthia used to be up there, the Carolina West, with her little fur coat on. Rennie Lowe, what's happening? There you go. That's my partner right there. Come in there, Rennie. You want to come in there? Jump in there, Rennie. There you go, Rennie. Uh, hit that link, Rennie. See that link right there in the chat? You can hit that and I can bring you in. If you can, what's your thoughts? Let me see, Kitty. The tier level or around the table discussions, meditating conflict, basic engagements, sitting down in a room for a conversation. I think that's an opener. I think that's an opener. That has to be an opener to start the conversation, and then we can set the parameters. It has to be calibrated in a way that leads to something, though, kids. You know what I'm saying? We have to put the parameters on in a way that these guys know that they're going to get what they get if they sit down. We can't make no empty promises. The Mayor of Compton already did that once. Okay, Rennie, right on. Yeah, the Mayor of Compton. So we can't get these kids with open hands. I mean, with empty hands. They have to have something to give them. Now these kids ain't in the pumping iron. Back then, it was mandatory. The ball game is good, man. I don't know. He probably at work right there. Think Cynthia over there doing some stuff too. Cynthia got it motivated on her side of town, which is a good thing. But we got to get them 1% to sit down too, Cynthia. You know, the thing about Cynthia, right? Cynthia been around all the time, and she been watching this stuff so long. She know exactly who people are, and they don't even realize that she know who they are. You know what I mean? But that's just how you know, she's always been there. Never a lot of us that got taken from the streets, uprooted, taken and placed in facilities to where you was incarcerated, whatever. You come back and you have to feel your way back through the mess. You know what I mean? Any more questions before I jump up out of here? Is it true that Sears used to be where? Yeah, that was Sears and Roebuck right there. You could tell by the red big. It used to be a red brick. All Sears used to be made out of red brick. Was Buddha just as big as Tookie before? I think Buddha was. He was Buddha was. I never did meet Buddha, to be honest with you, because Buddha got killed. I think in '73. I think Buddha got killed in '73. So I think right after then they was all in Factor Brookings. I don't know. Believe me, jealousy was back then. You gotta know, man. A lot of these guys died by the very hands in which the same thing they claim by the people that they claim to have love for. You know what I'm saying? Raymond, Mac Thomas, I believe Ricky Sides, I'm not for sure. Um, Buddha, you know. Then when you get a Jamel Barnes standing up there and acting the way he was acting when Tookie was at his most critical hour of need. Tookie at his most critical hour of need, and all this guy could think of was to go there and just take a crap on him. A quick hand guy story before you go. Tookie book. He said Raymond Washington and Jamel was bigger than him. I don't know what that could have been. I don't know where that could have been. I never saw it. I took it was huge, bro. He might have just been being modest. Yeah, he do speak on Buddha a lot. Buddha was like, that really hurt Tookie when Buddha got killed because Buddha was his guy, you know. I keep a bunch of books wherever I go. This is one of them. There's another one. I just keep books, man. I don't never without a book. Never. Never without a book. Never without a book, bro. Never. Always got book. Always got literature. Always got literature. I walk around all the time with 5 and 6 books. Oh, being constantly in the defense position to be able to exist on Rosecrans. Yeah, you're right. We was constantly in the defense, man. Mo Kizzy, he explained it right there. Being constantly in the defense position to be able to exist on Rosecrans. Because you got, yeah, we was the only ones on Rosecrans. Everybody else was the red team. I don't know. You would have to ask Cynthia that. I believe that would be Cynthia to navigate that. Cynthia, I know if he does an interview, he gonna do it with his sister, and then he'll do it with anybody else. I don't know. Jamel got a hold of a bad stick. Man, shout out to Chi Town, man. I love the Chi Town, man. I'm gonna get Chi Town back on here too. I should have got him today, but I was cramped for time and didn't have a time to talk with him. Chi Town, you out there, man? I haven't forgot, bro. Reading is fundamental. You're right. I keep 5 to 6 books with me all the time. Marlena, if not more. I got a whole book bag. So, a lot of it is reference, a lot of it is just going back over stuff that I already read and refreshing my mind. Because we all know with read how I feel about it. Read is mean re-add to what's already in your DNA. That's what reading is. So we got to always re-add. So yeah, I keep a bunch of books. Tomorrow is Thursday, and it's gonna be on and popping. How King Baba? You know what? I gotta call Baba Louie because I haven't talked. He usually call me by now. He hasn't called me in a minute, so I think I've just got to call and check on him and see how he's doing. I just sometimes I don't hear from him, but I just mean I need to call and check on him. Meanwhile, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something from what I was saying. Johnny Quest. What about Big Jack? The story he had one of the interviews with the news. Never heard a lot about him. Yeah, I just spoke on Big Jack, but anyway, we're gonna get with Nose. We're gonna try to get with Stan the Man, the other not Stan the Man in the chat, another Stan the Man, original East Side Stan the Man. We're gonna get with Nose and see if Nose can get Johnny Ray and some of the people we're gonna set the record straight, man. With Big Mad Dog. Man, 40 of y'all forgot to smash that like button, man. That just don't make no sense when y'all do that. I really don't. I don't even get that part. You up in here listening? Is it that difficult? I mean, if it's difficult, I guess I understand. But it take what 1, 2 seconds. Boom, smash the thumbs. But nonetheless, I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed me. I always enjoy seeing you guys asking these questions and me telling these stories in a way that you enjoy it and not drag it out to make it boring. Make it at least a little exciting. Although it can be more exciting if I can add all the the stuff to it, right? Yeah, right on, man. Hey, Snoopy Mac, you been late, bro. Where you at? Stay safe. Good night, man. Right on, Monique. Appreciate you. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation. Shout out to the Mailroom Rooms. Click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below when the dope content hit. Feel like it's the first and the 15th. Man, Marlena Williams, Devon Cutmore, Malik Monk, Snoopy Mac, Johnny Quest, Wesley Z, Cali Boy, Terrell, Yashua, what's good, man? Cobra, of course, G Easy, Kizzy Conrad Kissy, Casper, AM, FM Beast. You get that FM 57? Monique and Michelle, the Skunk Dog, of course, David, Darden. Man, all you guys, man, I appreciate you guys. Until the next time, man, we'll be back at it Friday or sometime. You know, we'll be back at it, man. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night. Marlena Williams, go ahead and lock the door, please. Where the Scooby snacks at? Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? Marlena Williams, lock the door, please. We are out.